Lawn Farm, Shottle in Derbyshire, the venue for this year's foremost 4x4 event, the 1994 ARC International Rally. This year's hosts are the Peak and Dukeries Land Rover Club, whose members are drawn from around the area. Competitors have travelled from all over the British Isles, and just a few have made the journey from different parts of the globe. Lining up some of the competitors taking part in the weekend's events.
Hi, good morning everybody, can you all hear me? Yeah. I'd like to welcome you all to the Peak and Dukeries First International. I hope you have a nice time today. We've done our best to make it good for you.
We have, for many years in the association, had member clubs from overseas, but over the last 2 or 3 years we've sought to formalise this and encourage the overseas clubs to join us in a formal way. The ARC has been going since 1976. Its predecessor was the Rover Owners Association. Basically it serves to unite all the clubs in the UK, some 33 member clubs.
Booking in, a task no one really wants to do, but with over 600 competitors for the weekend, an essential part of the organisation of the event. This year's ARC, in keeping with the Peak and Dukeries philosophy, is an event aimed at the whole family. Even the kids were catered for.
Go for it, Tom, go on!
What are some of the features of the land that you have to look at for staging a rally of this nature?
Well, obviously the people that's camping want a nice billiard table to camp on. You can't pitch a caravan on a 1-in-4, but there again, usually when you've got a billiard table or a cricket pitch to caravan on, you've got nowhere to trial on. So we look for the trials ground with available camping space. There's 100 acres here. There's 40 dedicated for camping and 60 for competition, and hopefully we've got the 60 and the 40 right mix. The 60 is the rough bit and the 40 is the flat bit, but not necessarily that way.
The RTV. This is a section for road-taxed vehicles. You or I could enter this, provided we had a current tax disc, insurance and an MOT certificate. All vehicles were represented, from a Series 1 to the Range Rover, and although it looks sedate, don't be fooled. It requires considerable skill and concentration to negotiate a course like this. Each section has 12 gates, marked by flagged canes. They're numbered from 12 at the start, going down to 1 at the finish. And the objective is to pass through as many gates as possible without touching any of them. Stop or hit a gate and you must retire. Number 29, Roger Ashby from the Southern Rover Owners Club. He successfully completes his section and receives 0 penalty points, the highest possible score. This is a timed event for a team nominated by their own club. What you need is a Land Rover, with a winch of course, and a team of 2 or 3 people. The requirements are relatively simple. By using the winch, a log has to be moved along a prescribed route and returned to its original position. Well, that's the theory, and it sounds simple, but not quite. The route may only be a short distance, but the log isn't straight, and it's also very heavy. Plus, there's plenty of steep inclines, and as you can see, rather a lot of mud. It all goes to make for a very difficult course.
Come on! Back, back!
Where's the bag, huh?
Go on! Whoa!
As with the best laid plans, disaster strikes and the winch cable comes off the Land Rover altogether.
Snap off. You get it off to 6. You get 5 turns on it. Just on your bit. What went wrong?
Everything just from the word go. We didn't anticipate properly for such a long course, and Peak and Duckeries, give it all they do. What a brilliant course. Fantastic.
How much chance did you have to have a look around at the course before you actually did it?
Plenty.
Plenty of time.
It's just
Didn't have a long enough wire on there.
not long enough wire, and the eyelet come out at the end of the winch, so it just set us back. We've taken the maximum on this one. Have another go next run around now.
As the name might suggest, two Land Rovers form the team, with the objective of traversing a rather muddy patch of land. The two rovers set off with the intention that one tries to jump through the mud, hopefully in one go, although in most cases this doesn't normally happen. So Land Rover number 2 goes round the other side in order to recover the first. When both have travelled through the mud, the one who's completed the course in the shortest possible time wins. Oh, and you must remember to collect your rope and belongings before you pass the finish line, or disqualification may result. The vehicles used for the cross-country event are hybrids. Most are made up from old Range Rovers, cut down to a shorter size, and there's a smattering of 80s and 88s. They're all a bit of an amalgam of Land Rover bits, imagination and aluminium panels, and of course you'll need that ubiquitous roll cage for safety's sake.
I think you'll enjoy yourselves today. The sections are a little bit nice in places. I'm going to introduce to you clerk of the course for today, Mr. John Tandy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today we've got 12 sections and 12 groups of motors. There are a lot of motors to drive, so we don't want you cutting the sections up for the people that are following you. When you've incurred a penalty or cleared a section, get your card marked by the nearest marshal, and then it's your responsibility or your passenger's responsibility to take your card to the group leader and get it marked onto the master score sheet. Long wheelbase and Range Rovers are allowed one shunt per section, and you've got to shout that loudly and clearly before you stop. Okay, have a good day. Enjoy yourselves.
Thank you.
The cross-country vehicle trial, as the name suggests, is much more difficult than the RTV, and specially constructed vehicles are used. In this event, if you're not careful, the Land Rover can be quite badly damaged. But again, care and skill are the bywords for each section, although there is the knowledge that if one vehicle can get through, then everyone can do it, provided that your skill is sufficient. Lawn Farm provided some difficult terrain. Some sections were quite exposed, whilst others had tight bends, mud, inclines, trees and hedges, just to make life that little bit difficult. Others were very steep, and the constant pounding of tyres meant hills became skid pans. Although a good number of competitors did end upside down, there were no serious injuries. Some sections did cause problems, though, and one had hints of mutiny from time to time. But what had to be remembered from briefings earlier on in the day were that no one section or gate was compulsory, and if you didn't want to go through, you didn't have to. You could simply just retire. This section was to prove a testing ground, and it was to sort out the men from the boys, and as you'll notice, the women from the girls. This bank at the start of the day had grass on it, however that wasn't to last long, and with a steep hill, mud and a tree just in the wrong place, this proved to be one of the more difficult spots.
We've been having a look down there. It looks a difficult part of the course. What do you reckon?
I'm going to chicken out.
Why?
There's a new vehicle. I don't want to bend it today.
What's the difficult part of it?
You're going down here, you're going to slide straight in that tree. There's no other way out of it.
It's very difficult. In fact, it's impossible to me.
Well, we've seen one or two actually manage to do it.
I probably managed to do it when the track was dry, but at the moment it's so churned up and so slippy and everything that no way am I going to attempt to do it anyway. A lot of sections to go for the rest of the day, so something like this, it pays to take it easy. Drive out of the section before you get to the map, please.
I think Peter must have changed his mind.
Mission off, mate, mission off.
Does it want servicing?
Yeah, no cigarettes, please. Good extinguisher. If any fags get away.
Right. Yep.
But you're still leaking.
Hey,
Small blue bottle.
Oh, I should pretty I get some.
The course was treacherous and became more so as the event progressed. Many competitors had a plan of action, although for some, they had no say in the matter. The Range Rover sustained minor damage from this slip-up, but during its recovery, that's when the real damage occurred.
The deal was to try and get through the 8 and then turn at right angles into the gully and drop in. When I got to the right angles, it then decided it didn't want to turn that way, so I decided I'd try and turn out of it, and the back end then slid into it, and hence I ended up stuck. We've broken the window at that side and bent the door at this side. And I'll go home and put 2 new doors on. I'll fix it.
We'll now take a look at some of the different sections of the CCV. With over 230 vehicles to get round the 12 sections of the CCV, it was inevitable at some stage that problems would arise.
What we have here is a terrible section which should have been scrubbed hours ago.
We are not going to abandon the section. We are, however, going to give you a choice. The highest score that's been achieved on this group, out of all the ones that's done it so far, is an 8. So you can either take an 8, or you can remain and drive the section. Bearing in mind it'll probably be 10 o'clock if you'll drive it. Can we have a show of hands from anybody who wishes to remain and drive it? It will remain open until the trial is finished.
Of the event, the competitive safari. The course is just over 2 miles long and 3 months in preparation. 120 entered the comp safari, so things had to be right. Dave Fielding, the clerk of the course, takes us for a spin. Well, that's what it looks like from Dave Fielding's vehicle. But here's another angle. The ARC rally was a resounding success, and preparations are already in hand for the 1995 International.